So I have 8 random questions here, and you'll just pick the numbers, and whatever you pick, that's what we're going to start with. So 1 through 8.
Let's start with 6.
Number 6. This is a fun one. It's just a silly one. It's our zombie apocalypse question. Let's say you are on the set of School Spirits and suddenly there is a zombie outbreak. You could pick 2 co-stars to team up with. Who do you choose that will give you the best chance of surviving the outbreak?
Whoa. That's a great question. Who would I pick?
I know someone you should pick, actually, now that I thought about this. One of the last episodes of Collider Forces, the Collider Ladies Night sibling series that I recorded, was with Christian, and he revealed to me that he is a prepper.
Okay. All right. So
like, dude's got to be prepared.
I'll go with Christian Ventura. And I feel like I'm torn between Milo Manheim and Sarah Yarkin, because Milo's really good at figuring out puzzles and figuring things out. But I feel like I have to go with Sarah Yarkin because she also feels like a prepper to me in a crazy way.
I feel like you could have chose anyone from you. Actually, can we throw someone under the bus? Who would be the least likely to survive the outbreak?
The least likely? Oh gosh. This feels terrible. It's like they're gonna hate me. They're really gonna hate me. They're really going to hate me if I say any of them.
Let's do that a little for yourself first. Give me what is your greatest strength in that kind of scenario, but then also your greatest weakness.
Ooh, if there's a zombie apocalypse? Yeah. My greatest strength is that I'll be so supportive, but my greatest weakness is that I don't know how much I'll contribute as far as, hunting and killing things. Like, I just feel like I might hesitate.
We would starve because you wouldn't hunt and kill things, and I can't, as we established before we started rolling, I can't cook, so that's just the end of us.
But I feel like we can make friends, and we find people fascinating.
You know what?
So
there's a silver lining to this.
Right? We just have to find our Pedro Pascal and then go from there.
It's as simple as that, isn't it? All right, second number here.
Okay, I'll go for 4.
Number 4. Oh, you got a meeting acting question. Now I love this question. It's called favorite, least favorite. I want to know your single favorite part of the acting process, like putting a costume on, breaking down your script, but then not necessarily your least favorite, just a part of the process where you still see room to grow for yourself and you're looking forward to tackling that.
One of my favorite parts of the process is getting ready. I love spending time in the hair and makeup chair. It feels like a part of the ritual at this point. And all of those people, they're just so, part of their job is making everyone feel good and feel like the character. And they're so collaborative. And we have such a great team. And now that I'm doing theater, I realize I'm all alone and I'm getting myself ready. And I miss having the people around that are so helpful. Like, I just have so much more respect for those departments now. And then my least favorite part,
I have to put a positive spin on everything, so I always phrase it not necessarily the least favorite, but just something that you still see room to grow for yourself in, and you're looking forward to trying that one day.
Yeah. Oh. Well, I guess I've seen just with singing in theater how much of a warm-up there is before a show, and just like that, the pre-show rituals again, and I feel like really having those warm-ups when it comes to acting as well, and like having those moments to what is that thing that gets you into it. I feel like I have room to grow and expand in that place.
Well, I'm going to come back to pre-show rituals. That stuff fascinates me with theater. But first, you got one last one to pick. What's your final number?
2.
Number 2. Oh, this is just a nice one. And this actually well aligns with all the things we get to celebrate today. This is called Bucket List. Just give me one thing that still remains on your acting bucket list.
I'm really looking for a mentor, an older female mentor who's been through it all and can kind of just give me some cool advice.
My head is exploding with options right now.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm putting it out there.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new edition of Collider Ladies Night with a returning guest. Your third time on the show.
I feel so honored to be talking to you for a third time.
I'm so excited.
In person now. So we've really leveled up.
Peyton List, you are doing some incredible stuff right now.
Oh my gosh, thank you, because I feel insane.
I wrote down this like really obnoxiously big question to start here because as I've said before, we've done 2 other ladies' nights together, and like this point in your career, it kind of like feels to me like a whole new chapter. So it was making me wonder, how would you define this stage of your career and what you're trying to achieve within it compared to maybe previous years or chapters?
It feels like full vulnerability, full risk, and full growth. I just really wanted to expand and check things off of my bucket list that I'd always wanted to do. I was talking to Kevin Chamberlain last night because he came to Heather's last night, and he said, I told you you weren't an actor until you did theater. And I was like, that's where that just hole in my body was. Like, I just felt like I needed to do theater and I needed to do something live and really scary. Yeah. And he's always pushed us to want to do that.
I love that. Doing something live and scary. I also think about School Spirits, which we'll dig into. Just like I keep thinking about what the rest of the ensemble said during our Q&A about, you know, like what an important thing it is to have a positive number 1 at the top of the call sheet. How good you are at that.
Oh, that's nice.
Something you should hear over and over. Before we get to School Spirits, before we get to Heather's, though, we have not spoken about the end of Cobra Kai, which I still can't believe ended.
I really can't either. It's so weird. It was just such a part of all of our lives for so long. And it's just so weird that it's done. But we all still see each other. Like, they all just met up over the weekend. I was having FOMO. They were all in Nashville and they all went to Billy's house. And yeah, we're all just still so tight.
I adore everybody in that. Like, really, between that ensemble and School Spirits, like whatever you're doing when looking for people to work with, keep on doing that because you find the best.
I get so lucky, and I feel like I just randomly stumble into these really great groups of people, and you know they all love you so much.
They're the best. They're the best. So I'll ask you one character question and then one personal question. When you read the final scripts, what did it mean to you to know that Tori was going to end her run on that show as a true champion?
It felt so surreal. I was not expecting that ending at all. The writers constantly kept us on our toes, and just, yeah, I wasn't expecting that ending at all. I was expecting it to be Samantha LaRusso, but the fact that she gives it up to Tori and is so supportive, it was such an emotional ending for both of us.
Made me so happy.
Yeah.
And I love the little buttons, so we at least know like what the next step is for them. Still want a spinoff series.
Yeah. What do you want the spinoff to be?
I mean, honestly, I couldn't even give you a good answer because I will literally, like, truly, I'm not just saying this because you're sitting in the room, but I would truly take anything at the end that they teed up. Like, I think there's probably a lot to gain from seeing the next stages of Tori's journey. And, you know, like kind of what we were talking about before, the mentor, like figuring out what it would mean to her to like go on this tour and influence younger students who want to follow in her footsteps. Sounds like a great storyline that maybe we need.
Yeah, definitely. I know, because I love working with the younger actors who would come in, and not that they're that much younger, but Una O'Brien and Dallas and Griffin and all those guys. It's just like so fun to work with people who just bring such a new energy into it. And like Una really committed to the fighting, to the martial arts, and she was going to martial arts camps and like sleeping on the floor, on the mats, and really she became such a good fighter throughout the show.
All of you, just like so damn talented in that respect. So now, more personally, behind the scenes, I always love hearing about someone's experience, kind of like closing the book on a character and an experience. And you've done that before with shows that come to an end, but I was wondering, is there anything about closing the book on Cobra Kai that felt unique to you, I guess?
Yeah, it did feel unique. It felt like we had all really grown into ourselves and become ourselves, and we were all living in Atlanta, somewhere far away from all of our homes. And I ended up living with Sholo, Jacob, and Josa throughout the final season. And we had just so many people coming in and out of the house. And we had all of these like home cooked meals and movie nights and show nights. And we all just bonded so much. So looking back on it now, it feels really like a once in a lifetime experience. Like, and I get emotional sometimes even thinking about it. Like it hurts that it's over because we all just had such a great time. But I think that is what makes it so special is that it ended on such a high note and we didn't go on for, until maybe it reached that point where we're running out of storylines. And I don't even know if those writers would ever run out of storylines.
Knowing them, probably not.
Yeah.
I was happy to see it come to a close on their terms, though. I think it's really, it actually is a very special thing to achieve in television because I feel like it doesn't happen nearly enough.
Yeah, and also for a reboot, for something to come back decades later like that and just to actually work and for people to support it and celebrate it. And the fans of Cobra Kai are the best fans ever.
Also, because you're also active on the convention circuit, it's never gonna go away. It will always be there.
We all get to reunite, and so we love meeting up.
I am obsessed with the conventions, like fan conventions, because I only first started going. I think one of my first ones might have been 2022 or 3 at MegaCon, and just there's something about that environment. It it sizzles with enthusiasm for artists and the thing that all these fans love so much. Like there's nowhere else to get those kinds of feelings in person.
Definitely.
Oh,
yeah.
I love it.
I love them too. I love I don't know how we end up at horror conventions and I love the horror fans.
We need you in another horror movie. I feel like that was the last time you were on Friendship Game.
Yeah. Yeah.
What kind of horror movie would you want to make next? Give me a horror subgenre of choice.
Nothing too gory, but something more psychological.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
With a little bit of gore.
All
I
right.
think could be fun.
I'm into earned gore. Yeah. Okay.
I'm dying on stage every night right now, and I love it.
There's certain things that are flooding back into my brain now. I will jump to Heather's the Musical. You touched on this a little bit before in a previous answer, but I am curious. Why now for something like that? Is there anything that happened recently that made you say now is the time to scratch this creative itch?
I just felt like performing live every night. There's nothing that pushes you further out of your comfort zone and forces you to be present more than that. So that was the most compelling thing.
I don't blame you. That's wild. I'll go back to what I wanted to ask about before actually now. Your pre-show routine. Do you have any rituals or things you have to run through before hitting the stage?
Yeah, I love doing breath work just to come back to my own energy and my own body because I feel like there's just so many energies around and just taking everything in. And so I like to just clear everything and come back and light some Palo Santo or something.
I don't blame you. This stuff is all necessary for that kind of work. Is there any kind of, stage learning curve you've experienced? Because that's just it's so much to give of yourself to get on stage night after night. And I have to imagine there are so many things you need to consider that aren't necessarily applicable to screen acting.
Definitely. Yeah. Just as far as the quick changes and changing out of the costumes and just moments that could be tricky, that are little moments that you have another shot at normally in TV or film. But in this, it's you have one go at it.
Okay, I'll ask this as a follow-up question. Can you tell me maybe the aspect of the show that is the most challenging for you, the single moment that runs the risk of tripping you up the most? But then also I want to know, is there a specific moment of the show that, I don't know, you just really look forward to? It's when you're rewatching a movie you love and you can't wait for it to get to that one scene, if not that one line, because you just love hearing it or watching it.
I love asking Veronica if she brought knee pads so that she can beg. It's so terrible, but I just love being horrible. The moment that I just can't wait to be over every night is at the beginning of the show, and it's in the song Candy Store, and it's the big moment, and I just can't wait for that to be done every single night. I hate it so much.
You nailed it last night though.
Okay, that's nice.
I love how as someone who sits here and judges her own work, I understand.
Oh yeah,
but
I'm the
also,
judgiest to myself, and to everyone else, I just love and support everything. And so, yeah, I have a lot of fights with myself.
I didn't realize what a talented singer you were, and admit, like, eventually I went online and I was Googling and I found some videos where, like, beautiful songs. But even the friend that I was with last night, the first time you came out and you sung, she's like, I didn't know she could sing like that.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just want to delete everything remove everything from the internet and enter as a new person. But
I mean,
that's a lot of people's dilemmas.
I got a couple of those on my list too. If I could scrub them for good, I might.
Yeah.
I would love to learn a little more about your co-stars there, because I obviously, like, I know Cobra Kai, I know School Spirits, I know so many screen actors, but I'm not super familiar with Broadway stage actors. So can you actually, I asked you this once before, I'll bring this question back again. Can you tell me the two members of that ensemble who have the most polar opposite approaches to their work, where, like, they spice up the environment on stage in completely different ways for you?
Oh, yeah. Well, Kuhu, who's playing Veronica right now.
She was so, I'm cutting you off already, but I have to. She was so good.
She's insane. She can do it all. She's done comedy and Plan B, which she worked with John Hurwitz and the Cobra Kai team.
Such a good movie.
And I love that movie and her performance in it. And then she's done opera in Paris. So it's like, what can she not do? Her singing's beautiful. And she just, we share a dressing room, 5 of us.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're all in there getting ready, and it's just, everyone brings such a great energy and is so supportive. And, yeah, so that's nice to have that.
Her facial expressions are also everything. Like,
I love
everything her face does says so much. And it's so perfect for stage acting too.
It is perfect. Yeah, she knows exactly what to do, and she's just been supportive since the beginning. And yeah, she has her own rituals that are really cool. And Elizabeth Teeter, she's always next to me, and Jakira is as well. And they're both just so great. And Kuhu, she makes different choices every single night. And then there's I'm figuring out what that is for me. And yeah, all of them really bring a fun energy, and, like,
I love this.
And Kuhu's always, like, messing with me on stage and saying something, like, just when we have to, like, ad lib and we're together. So that keeps it fun.
Can you give me an example?
Oh my gosh. Well, I've been experimenting with my makeup, having to do it myself, and she'll just be like, oh, lashes tonight, nice, or what? Like, we'll just, I don't know. It's the dumbest little things, but
that's really, like, one heck of a part of the process. I recently took my sister to see Six the Musical, which I love that music so much, but I have fallen into Six TikTok, and they all do their own makeup, and they add, like, flourishes in a brand new way every night. I'm like, you gotta be so creative on stage, and then you have time to do that too before you even go on stage. Like, what kind of artist are you? This is incredible. It's really is something else.
It is.
So how are you feeling right now? You're only in the beginning of your run. Does this feel like something you're going to want more of?
I can't decide yet. The feedback from other people is I'm going to want to keep doing it, and it's going to be really addicting, which I could definitely see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems to me like one of those things where, like, it's, don't view it as a sprint, view it as a marathon kind of thing. But when the marathon is over, you're like, oh, exhale. Oh, I missed that already. And, like, before you know it. You're also, like, a natural. Also, another thing, you have such a good evil laugh.
Thank you.
I also was not ready for that in the show.
Yeah, it's one of those moments where it has to come out, and I just, had to find that. And I didn't even really, it just came out of me. I was shocked.
Something else. I'm so impressed. I was so excited to see that last night. All right, we're going to get into School Spirits. The interrogation portion of our interview does not begin yet. I'm going to ask a couple broader questions because, again, the last time we spoke on Ladies' Night, you were filming season 1 of School Spirits. So
That's the last time?
Yeah. And there's one thing from that interview that you told me that I had never forgotten. We were talking about, like, actors. That was the question. It was the actors that challenge you question. And you used Christian as an example. And like ever since then, I've been like keeping an eye on him and hearing him talk about his craft and then linking it back to how you described him. I'm like, oh, like you set me up to be well aware of that. He's just like a very, like a very singular kind of artist to me.
Yeah, definitely.
So going back to the very, very beginning, signing up for a new show can be very, very intimidating. You have lucked out with a great group at the helm. You have a great ensemble around you, great material to work with. We know that now. What was it at the beginning that signaled to you, this is a good thing to commit myself to for a long time?
Meeting Megan and Nate, meeting our showrunners and our creators, and Oliver Goldstick was there as well. And then knowing that Max Winkler was attached to direct the pilot, that felt like a no-brainer. I had met Max in a screen test before and just loved working with him. Yeah, so just knowing that it was that group of people, it's funny how just getting on a quick Zoom, I knew, okay, this is something worth pursuing, because I loved the script. I loved the character Maddie. And I didn't really see myself as Maddie. And I think that consistent theme has been, I don't see myself in the characters that I do end up playing. Usually I'll see myself in something that it doesn't end up being the thing.
Huh. Oh, I have so many follow-up questions about that. First, I'll ask, what was the very first thing you did, either in prep or on set, that made you stop and go like, no, I am Maddie, this is my role?
I think it was a conversation I had with Megan. Yeah, we were talking about Maddie, and I was like, I just want to. It was the moment where Maddie finds out that Xavier is cheating on her, and it was a scene where I'm going up to him at the car, and right before she finds out, and I said, I just want to protect Maddie so much. I just want her to still hold her integrity and still be a cool person throughout all of this. I don't want her to look dumb or like she missed something. And she said, and that's why you're perfect as this character, because you want to protect her and you have those similar qualities to her. And that's why you'll play it perfectly. And just having her say that really helped me unlock so much of the character. And I've looked to Megan so many times, and the finale of season 1, when we were doing the big climax of why you realize Maddie ended up getting stuck in the school the way she did. The scene with Maria Dizia, I looked to her and she was already crying. And I think I've mentioned this to you before, but yeah, that was definitely like looking to her multiple times has been the thing.
You know how obsessed I am with Maria. And we're talking spoilers eventually through episode 7 of season 3.
Oh, yay.
You have such a show-stopping moment at the end of that episode. It reminds me of that scene. I think I said something similar to you about this one. It's the end of part 1 of season 6 of Cobra Kai, where it's just like really like sincerely breathtaking work.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm going to hold back a little, and I'll do a roadmap, and we'll get there eventually. But it like really something else. So now I want to go back to what I brought up before that your co-stars also brought up during that Q&A is what a good leader you are on this set. So I'm going to make this a 2-part question. You know, I like my 2-part questions. Can you tell me something that you saw a past number 1 on the call sheet do that you knew you wanted to hold tight to and bring to this set? But then can you also tell me something you learned about being a good leader, but were only able to discover along the way while making the show?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, seeing Ralph Macchio and Billy Zabka, to me, they're both number 1s. And they're just the most welcoming, chill people. I think there could be this perception of, oh, I need to close myself off, or I need to, not talk to anyone and kind of do my own thing, or just focus on the work. But I feel like part of the work is also just being such an open, supportive person, which is what they are. And they're just so real and so vulnerable and so hardworking. Like they just showed up with such consistent energy and so much care. And I think just seeing that, just the thoughtfulness that they had, and just the love that they had for the characters. That really stuck with me. Like, I
don't blame you.
They're the most humble people, and they also just have such lives outside of the show and outside of their work, and they value their family number one. And so having that as well, just remembering that, we all need to make sure that we're good, mentally and physically outside of everything.
It's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah. And then something that I learned along the way. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I guess I didn't learn. I didn't know. I didn't know the energy that I was setting as a number one. I didn't know that anyone was looking at me to set a tone at all. So I'm just glad that it worked out.
It's good tone. Good tone.
Yeah, it's just consistency, I guess. Trying to show up consistently.
I love that. So important. Wait, I'm going to go back to what you were just talking about in terms of like, having things outside of work to kind of keep you centered, especially because you are in the middle of a run on Heathers right now that demands like you be present on stage night after night after night. What do you do outside of the theater in order to, put yourself first when you need and really keep yourself like healthy physically and also mentally and emotionally?
Yeah. I talked to a few friends who have done Broadway runs or done theater runs, and they were just telling me how much you have to value your alone time and like your somatic check-ins and just checking in with your body and seeing where you're at. And I've had to say no to a few things just because there's only so much you can do if you want to make it and give it that opening night energy every night, or give people, that same energy. But I've also learned that playing hard is also a part of it as well. And like being gentle on, okay, you should go out and you should have a drink and you should go dancing, because that is also being human and existing is like, it's such a balance. But I realize, I'm actually, it's not my vibe to just go home and be alone every night. I love people. I'm a twin. So I've like always been around someone, and I feel like I love socializing, and I get, I'm like a generator personality, which I love all of the like astrological things and like the personality types. And I know that I feed off of other people and other people's energy. And then I was just seeing a study that dancing is like just as healing for depression, like meditating near a tree. I'm just like, I'll do anything. Like I love just sitting in nature or going out with people.
What a beautiful quality to have. I feel like maybe I should dance. I'm not a dancer. Like, what do you do?
Yes, you are.
What do you do if you just don't want to?
Okay, if you don't want to, then don't. But I feel like I bought a little tiny trampoline, and I just like jump and I just get myself up in the morning by doing that.
A trampoline is different than dancing. I feel like I could vibe with a trampoline.
I went to a trampoline class in East LA, and it was the most fun class ever. Like, it's just a bunch of women starting their day off on these trampolines, and we're like all in sync.
That sounds kind of amazing.
It was fun.
If I get evicted from my apartment, though, because the neighbor downstairs is mad at me, I'm going to blame you. And I might try a trampoline at some point.
No, actually, I don't want to recommend putting it on a balcony. I was like, if you have a balcony,
here's my way of like centering myself and taking myself out of work. On my balcony, it is just covered in hummingbird things. Nice. Apparently I am like in her 30s cliche where I've developed an obsession with birds, in particular hummingbirds. It's lovely.
That's really nice though. You can just look out your window and see that.
Yeah. And they're so like small and dainty, and I got a little hand feeder. Actually, like this is probably really good to do to relax yourself, but I got a little hand feeder. And the only way it will like sit on your finger and sip out of the feeder is if like you stand there and you're just still. Like I can't be scrolling on my phone. I can't be listening to music because it will distract them. Like I literally just like stand there and breathe for a while, and then one will sit on my finger and sip out of the thing.
That is so nice.
It's the cutest thing in the world.
I need to do that because I had a hawk who would circle my house, and I started leaving things out for it too. But I don't think I could sit with it like that. Maybe I could. You never know.
I guess you never know. You're an animal person, aren't you?
Yeah, I love animals.
What kind of dog do you have?
He's a Cavapoo. mutt
baby.
Yeah.
What's his name?
His name's Mo. Yeah.
Mo.
I fostered him and his siblings and then ended up keeping him.
Yeah.
Do you have any animals?
So we was talking about this Jake last night. He and the friend I was with, they're trying to pressure me into getting a cat or a dog. I want one really bad, but I don't stop traveling.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So instead, I just try to bully my sister and my parents into getting more and more animals. So when I come back east and I could see them, I could be surrounded by even more animals.
That's perfect.
It's something. I think I'll have to do with that for now. All right. You ready for my School Spirits Season 3 interrogation?
I don't know if I'm ready.
So I'm going to get very specific about the most recent episodes, which for us is going to be episodes 6 and 7. But before, I wanted to ask some broader questions about the new season because, and you might not think of it quite the same way, but I'm watching your work this season and like, it's almost like Maddie's operating at a different pace. Like she's vibrating in a different way. And like she almost like feels rewired to me given what she went through. So I was wondering if there's any big differences between how like you are thinking about playing her or even preparing for scenes this season that separates it from how you did all that in seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's just such a new feeling for her because she's back in her life, but Simon is stuck. And so it's a whole 180. It's now all the focus is on her being a good friend and getting him out and being there for others. I feel like it was so much of just focusing on herself and how she can get back to her mom and on what happened to her. And now she's having to come to terms with so much with this girl violating her and being inside of her body, living with her mom and having these conversations with her mom that she has no idea what they talked about. And there's so many things. And I had so many conversations with the showrunners about where she's at. And I'm trying to figure it all out, but I feel so exhausted and I'm so confused. Like there's so many different things happening and they're like, perfect. That's exactly where you should be at.
It really is. Like I guess this might come straight from the writing, but what is it like playing a character who again is rewired quite a bit and being torn in so many different directions, but like you also still need to make sure that she feels like the same person. I think you do that beautifully, by the way. Okay,
well, that's good. Yeah, I think that people in general go through these huge life shifts and these huge things that happen. I mean, she's faced her trauma. She's had to go through it and move through it, and then now just kind of be there for everyone else. So, yeah, it is. She has changed so much since the first season. Now it's who is this person when she's kind of let go and she's giving herself the permission to not be everything for everyone because she can't be. And what does that look like? And yeah, it's
so stressed for her. She can't catch a break this season.
Yeah, she really cannot.
And also when you think about the timeline of the whole series and how much has happened in actually such a short span of time in her reality.
Definitely.
Wild.
Yeah, we can't stop thinking about just how quick of a shift this whole thing has been.
It's so something else. I wrote down, this is like a broader question about the dreams and visions she's having. Because I love looking at like the little details. Can you tell me some of the notes you were given in terms of how to play those moments? Like how to play what she might be feeling when she's slipping into one of those visions, but then also maybe the right look for her when she comes out of it.
Yeah, that was a really fine thing to find with everyone. And, you know, we had Hannah McPherson directing and then Brian Danley. And so it's like working with different directors on the same sort of thing and then finding what it is for me. But yeah, slipping into it, it is kind of zombie-like. I mean, you're not there and there's nothing. She's in a different space completely. And so just to be completely dead and yeah, just not present and just to slip away and slip into it.
I'm so scared for her. What about when she's actually in one of those visions? Is it comparable to maybe anything that she's experienced in past seasons, like the feeling of stepping into a scar, like what that environment can do to someone?
Yeah, stepping into the scar, it's something that each character avoids so heavily, just going in there, and it's so exhausting. And when Simon goes in, he is alive, and so he is getting injured, and so it is that thing. It's just the most draining, difficult thing for all of these characters to put themselves into.
You bring up Simon, and I think the same thing of him that I do of Matt. Like, you could just feel the mounting pressure from season to season. Like, you could feel like everything is life or death. They're kind of like full steam ahead with no barriers, like no safety net, or at least none that they're actually willing to stop if they've recognized that they've hit their limits. Mm-hmm. The two of them are just going to barrel headfirst into anything.
Mm-hmm. They really are just the worst when it comes to just protecting themselves, because they just want to be there so heavily for each other. And yeah.
We're going to get to another great scene that you share with Christian that I love. I lie. I'll ask you one episode 4 question, because I think this might be one of my favorite episodes of the entire series thus far. And there's a lot of really great scenes in it, but I think you know what I'm going to zero in on right now. It's the big Quinn dance sequence. Like, what a wonderful, joyful thing to watch. What was it like getting that script, knowing what you were going to do, and also being able to shoot something like that with the full company there?
Yeah, that was just such a great experience. And having Quinn lead that number, and seeing this character that's kind of been in the background really get their moment, and kind of go on this whole self-discovery journey, and this mushroom trip. And like, I was such a fan of the whole thing, and also just bringing so much lightness to the season that's been so heavy. Mm-hmm. But watching them go on that whole journey, it was so emotional for everyone in a way that we really didn't expect. Like, Sung just brought so much to that, just seeing them in the rehearsals with all of the dancers around them, and with our choreographer, who's also Nate's best friend. So getting to just have so many people who we love around, it was just such a cool thing. Like, yeah.
The whole thing was really incredible. Like, I wasn't ready for this particular moment to hit me as hard as it did. But when you see the spirits and also the living characters run towards each other, I was overwhelmed, having grown attached to these characters for so long and being appropriately frustrated by the barrier between them.
Right.
It's such a beautiful thing to see that broken down.
Yeah. Yeah. It is nice. I just wish we could live in that sequence a little longer.
I say this all the time. If the characters that I love so much and I want to have happily ever afters actually got their happily ever after, I wouldn't have a series. So you know what? Let them struggle for a good while longer, please.
Exactly.
All right. We're getting into the specifics now. Another scene that you have so many scenes in these 2 episodes that I love. Episode 6, the first thing I want to touch on is the garage scene with Wally. I am obsessed with how effective of a romantic scene that is without being a traditional sex scene. It was something else. I have to start with this question though, because I think the success of a scene like that hinges on the chemistry between you and Milo. Do you remember the very first thing, even if it was in season 1, that happened between the two of you that made you like stop and go to yourself? Like there is that necessary screen spark here. Like, this is going to work.
I think from the first scene, with Milo, I felt we were running the scene, and I had so many scenes in the first few episodes, and it was his first scene, and he was coming in from filming something else, and we were running our lines, and I was searching for my line, and he fed it to me, and I just looked at him, and I was pissed that he gave me my line, and then I was like, oh, this is perfect. This is the exact energy these characters are supposed to have. And he's like, if you want to run it again, I know all of your lines as well as my own. And so I think I was like, all right, you know what? This is going to be perfect, actually. Someone who pushes me and someone who, might also drive me a little bit crazy. But then it was perfect because we very quickly became friends, just like the characters. Like, it felt like it really mirrored the show, where I felt like Maddie being like, I don't need your help. Okay. I got this. And then over time, slowly becoming like one of my great best friends. And so, and also he really does have that optimistic, fun energy, which I sometimes feel resistant to when I'm first meeting people. There's always the like boundaries up of, is this real? Is this person really like this? And sure enough, everyone really is like what they show. So
that's how Christian described him. He said it's like true golden retriever energy.
Exactly. And so I feel like there was like a Maddie Wally banter that was very quickly kind of formed and found.
Something else, and the way you build on that and then earn this scene here. So next question I have to ask is what it was like reading this scene for the first time, and knowing the inherent challenges of any romantic scene, but also noticing that there was that extra layer that like you had to have that sizzle effect, but without being able to touch.
Yeah, which was one of the hardest scenes to do, but also one of the easiest. But it's just so many scenes on this show are things that we've never really done before as actors. And so, finding that chemistry and finding that vulnerability between these two characters without being able to touch was really, really difficult. But also, it felt so much more it felt so much more intimate and then when you are intimate, and I don't even know how that makes any sense, but it really did feel that way.
It was that's one of my favorite qualities of the scene. There is something about seeing two characters share a moment like that, but again, not in the traditional romantic scene way, that I think really reinforces the fact that like they truly are a pair. Like they go together and it's undeniable because of the way that they're sharing this moment.
Yeah, I feel like Wally really celebrates Maddie and brings such a lightness out of her when things can be so heavy. And I feel like a big intention was just to for every girl watching at home just to feel that sort of like celebrated that Maddie feels in that moment, just to feel, she's not perfect and there's so much going on, but she's still so accepted. And that was just sort of the feeling we wanted to bring out for that scene.
Great success in that respect. Such a memorable moment. I love that. Here's another scene that I love. This one you share with Christian. It's when the two of them are kind of sitting on the stairs, and I was about to just call it an argument, but that would take away from why I love this scene so much. It kind of starts as an argument, but then there's like a multitude of layers that you guys have to go through in order to essentially hit the point that you both realize like we're actually kind of the same and we're in a very similar kind of situation. So what is it like navigating a scene like that with Christian of all people as your scene partner?
Christian has all of these ideas when he arrives to set. He's already thought through the scene in every way possible, and he always wants to make it better than it has ever been before for these characters. And it definitely is a difficult scene, just not being able to interact physically and wanting to grab him and shake him. But it felt like we're going in and we have no idea what could happen, and we could not see each other again, and who knows? So we had to bring that energy of just the stakes. We had to bring the stakes there.
He's so emotional. Watching tears stream down his face. It hurts, but appropriately so, as it should. It's also a beautifully photographed scene. That's like another one where I love the close-ups that you all do so well, like the dead-on ones, but like there's this really nice profile shot of just the two of you sitting across from each other. I'm like, this makes it so incredibly effective.
Yeah. Nate Trinrud, our showrunner, he directed the season, and so having him direct that scene was really, really special. yeah, we just want to bring it for him.
I don't blame you. I would always want to bring it for like the two of them. They're just the best. I will ask you, let's do a production design question, because this is the episode where Maddie and Xavier go into like Van Height / Casey's house. And I love a production designer's attention to detail, and there's so many things to explore in that space. So was there any specific thing that like caught your eye, like something about that space and how they built it out that maybe spoke to like this foe that you're up against?
Definitely. I feel like all of the interior designing and the entire interior, I feel like, was exactly on point for Casey Jensen, and that farm set and that huge corn maze set was just,
I love me a good corn maze set.
I never expected to do a live action scene in a corn maze. I thought that was something just for things that are animated, but we filmed in a real corn maze, and then when we were in there, everything stopped working. We had no signal anymore, and so we shot so many things that just didn't even end up really coming out. And so we had to recreate it on a soundstage. So that was the never-ending corn maze.
I was wondering if it was one of those situations where, like, you know, you build one leg of the corn maze and then it's basically just like running back and forth, and then the way it cuts together, it builds out the maze.
Yeah. But for that house specifically, we drove hours to find the right location. And yeah, the base camp was so far away from our normal place because they wanted it to look as true as possible.
Yeah.
So
it does look really good.
Yeah. I wish I could speak more to the work that they all did around just the production design in general.
I do have to highlight how many incredible sets you have. Like, I feel like that's been true since the very beginning. But like, I was thinking about, because I was talking to Christian about this one, the bus crash set piece is like real, like horrifically stunning looking.
Yeah.
Like that is such a beautiful set.
They do that, and Charlie builds all of our sets with such little time, and she cares so much. And that's the thing, our crew like cares so much, and they've just killed it.
Oh, I didn't ask you this at the Q&A, and I think I actually said if we had more time, I would. Now I have a little more time. And admittedly, it is an unfair question, but is there anybody that you could shout out right now that you would maybe call a school spirit's unsung hero? Someone that, you know, maybe isn't in the spotlight all that much, but we really need to know the contribution they make to your show.
My gosh, there's so many people. That's such a great question. Just one.
I can't tell if saying I'll take a couple makes it easier or harder.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I mean, I really think Charlie, with our production design, like, she really deserves. She is such a huge presence in the show, who I think should be we should see more of her. You know, I feel like there's so many people in the crew where in the interviews it's like, wow, they really carried so much of the energy. And then Tyler Walzak, he's our DP, and he creates such stunning visuals for the show, and he comes at it every day with so much energy. And he's just a great person, but cares so much for the show.
I love hearing. At the very least, I promise, as the show continues, I will ask that question as often as I possibly can, so you can shout out more people.
Okay, great. Yeah,
your crew deserves it. All right.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
Got 2 scenes, maybe 3 scenes to hit in episode 7. I'm going to go back to Wally for this first scene, because this is the I love you scene, and I don't know, maybe you have a different opinion, but as an outsider looking in, it feels like 2 of the most difficult kinds of lines for an actor to deliver are I love you and I love you too. They can be delivered in so many different ways. You need to make sure that you deliver them in a way that an audience member can feel the weight of the entirety of that relationship. So what was it like doing that scene and figuring out the right tone for those lines to be said?
You're right. It is the most difficult thing to deliver, and I feel like it is more of a feeling, just leaning into saying those words, but also thinking all of the things that, having so many thoughts behind it, and then really feeling it. I don't even know how to explain it, but it is that thing of just sort of sitting in the feeling of it and then delivering the sentiment. But it is one of the most difficult things to do. But I think really carving out the time and the space and not rushing it and really letting it be a slow, vulnerable thing, that's really helpful. But it is so hard to do.
I thought you two did it very well. The answer to this question might be no, because it's easier to say that as an outsider looking in. But was there a moment on set when you two were doing that scene when you kind of, heard cut and you're like, we got it. That felt right.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, we had to. I remember watching Milo's coverage and yeah, he said that line and then he walked off and he did the Breakfast Club fist bump. And that was a take I knew, oh yeah, he felt it. And we got it. And I feel like I got emotional just behind the camera watching. And so when I feel it from behind, just watching the moment is when I know, okay, yeah, I feel like you can just feel when it feels good and when it feels right and when it makes sense. And yeah, I felt like, yeah, it's crazy how you can just tap into these other people and just surrender to the feeling. But I don't know if I'm making any sense right now.
You are. I sometimes worry that, like, again, it's easier to not judge your own work and be the audience member watching the finished product. But I know it can be different when you're on set. And as someone who is constantly judging everything she says, I'm always worried that, like, an actor doesn't know when they've done something and it's like it's perfect. Like I could feel it to my core. And there's quite a few moments like that. That really hit me just the way I would have wanted a moment like that too. And then this next scene when you're at home and you know that Wally's gone. I have so many questions about that. I can't talk about that because I've only seen through episode 7. I won't put you on the spot and dare you to spoil anything. But Maddie's at home and essentially word vomits the entirety of her truth, of her experience to her mom. And oh my, your performance, it cuts through in just the right way. I don't even think I was fully prepared for that moment to happen then for some reason. And as it was unfolding, I'm like, oh, everything is coming together exactly how it should. I guess I'll ask you about it this way. What would you say is the biggest difference between how you prepare for a hugely emotional and game-changing scene like that versus maybe any other scene in the show?
Yeah, knowing that scene was coming up was just taking over my entire being. Acting opposite of Maria Dizia makes it much easier, but also much harder at the same time because I'm such a huge fan of hers and just love everything about her. And so having to go into that energy just, it takes over everything. But it just felt like such an important moment and just so much is coming up and there's so much honesty and with the character that Maddie really hasn't been very honest with. And so to go there the stakes felt so high. Yeah, it's just one of those things where I have to lean on everyone that's around our showrunners and just, it's also just, so many people watching in the crew and, it really feels like everyone is a part of it that day and really respects what everyone needs and, just resetting the cameras and staying in that energy and making sure that it's, Maria, she gives on my coverage, she wants to make sure that she's bringing everything to really bring that out. But that was just one of the most heartbreaking scenes to do. Yeah.
One of my favorite things about it is it's heartbreaking and heartening at the same time, because while she's expressing this loss, it does feel like in a sense, like a scar that's starting to heal or a wound that's reforming and coming back together, as in the relationship between mother and daughter. I can't wait to see the next step for them.
Me too. Oh, you're going to be so heartbroken at 8.
No! Oh no! I'm gonna be stressing about this until I get the next episode.
It's just right when things get better.
This is not what I was expecting.
Oh God.
Usually I'm prepared for every which response I could get to a question. I am in shock right now.
I felt exactly like you at the end of 7. Oh, I can't wait for things. I can't wait to see this relationship now that things are good.
Oh my. I'm almost glad that you have prepared me for what's to come because my fragile heart can't take it.
I feel the same, but we'll handle it.
The amount of possibilities that are swirling around in my brain right now. We've hit the final question of Ladies' Night. In recent years, it's the question we end every single Ladies' Night with, and I think it's an important thing to think about. In film and television, we give each other awards. Super cool. Keep on doing that. But I find that nobody stops to tell themselves good job as much as they should. So I want to know something you accomplished making School Spirit Season 3 that you know you're always going to be able to look back on and say, you know what? I am really proud of what I did there.
I really am proud of the places that we have gone on that show emotionally, and the scene you just specifically called out, like those scenes with Maddie and her mom with Sandra, and being able to go to those places, I am proud of the vulnerability that it took to make those. So, yeah,
should be so good in this. So good on stage. I'm so happy for all the wonderful things you're getting to do right now. And I know there's going to be so many more to come. So I'm going to say congrats on everything you've accomplished on Heathers and School Spirit Season 3 and all the good coming your way in the future.
Thank you, Perry. You're the best.
As are you.
I love Ladies' Nights.
I love hearing it. You know this door is open anytime you want.
I appreciate it. Yeah, you're the best.